Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Heartfelt Hustle podcast. I'm your host, Sosh, and today we are going to be diving into the topic that is another extension of what we talked about last week. So last week we did talk about how can you keep your business running smoothly, and if you are coming on this podcast for the first time, well, make sure you check out that episode as well. And today we are going to be talking about something which is more of a secret. Well, not exactly. It's not a secret actually, but I want to share with you the secret for running a stress-free business, because I've been working with done for you clients. I have a membership where we have our members and they are hustling as they are working on all of the things they love, but sometimes we may not realize it, but few things or few changes in how we run a business can help us make a business more stress-free. So are you up to listening this? Welcome to Heartfelt Hustle, the podcast that dives deep into the heart and hustle of entrepreneurship, where our dreams meet reality and where our passions fuel our success. I'm your host, Sushmita Jain, a launch strategist and operations director, founder of an outsourcing agency. Most of my clients call me their right-hand woman, and most importantly, a curious soul as well as a nerd. I am here to share my experiences. I am here to share my insights. I am here to share practical tips that will help you build a thriving and a sustainable business. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or someone looking to infuse more heart into your hustle, I am here, and this podcast is for you. Each week, we'll dive into topics ranging from reconnecting to your passions, your soul, your why, and overcoming the roadblocks of your growth journey. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dig into this heartfelt hustle together. So before you start wondering what are exactly we going to be talking about today, let me explain what do I want us to focus on today. So it's not a secret, but it is something that most of the business owners again do not want to focus on, because it's the boring bits of running a business, isn't it? Well, today I want to talk with you about, or share with you actually, an overview of essential tools and processes that will help you manage the back end of your business more effectively or more efficiently. So having a well-managed backend can actually make a lot of difference in the way you run, operate, and handle your business, because that way, when you have things handled, when you are having like a structure in your business, it's going to run smoother and it's going to be more efficient. And that's the reason why I want us to focus on this today. So, are you ready to dive in further? Are you ready to even start thinking about the importance of having your business back and managed? Because let me tell you something. The back end is where all of the behind the scenes magic, yes, magic with all of the pixie dust or whatever you want to call it, does happen. So whether we're talking about project management, whether we're talking about communication, whether we're talking about your business finances, whether we're talking about the customers and the relationships you're building, there's so much to discuss about and to even talk about. And personally, if I have to talk about things from my end, I would like to say one thing is that I have found that when my business backend operations are well managed, I can again focus more on growth and less on putting out fires, because that way I know we are on track. That way I am less stressed and I can actually focus on doing the thing. I can focus on being more proactive instead of being more reactive. And that is exactly why I want you to invest your time in this. I want you to focus on what matters in your business, because yes, marketing matters. Yes, more eyeballs coming towards your way matter. Business growth matters. Having sales and getting more and more sales and growing your business and growing your audience and growing and connecting and building big membership does matter. Having a sold out retreat matters. But how much could you even achieve if you have to worry about your day-to-day operations? Like, would you really be able to serve your clients in the way you would like to if you're just worrying about your day-to-day operations, or if you're worried about, oh my God, while I'm on call, what might happen? Like, oh my God, would something go wrong? Or, oh my God, am I going to miss out on something? Because right now I'm on a call, or I'm delivering a guest expert training, or there's something else happening, or I'm actually out with my family. And what if in the meantime something comes up and I miss out on, and maybe there's some communication gap or something goes wrong in your business. And so instead of you being in the moment, you're just hanging around somewhere else. You're like, oh, okay, this, okay, that, okay, oh my God. We don't want that, do we? Do we really want to build a business where you are on the edge the whole freaking time? Or do you want to build a business where we are just, like in the moment, doing what we really love, serving our clients, making their lives more amazing, helping them get the solutions they have been looking for via our work, and other bits, are in control, being taken care of. Either what you have done and you've taken care of in a certain way or not, or there's some automation that has been set up on the back end, or you have your VA who is handling things for you, or you have a full-fledged team who is getting things done for you. Right? Because we have worked with clients on their launches. We have worked with clients on their behind the scenes setup. So whether it's how we handle the operations for behind the scenes of running a membership or a group program they are running, or all of the behind the scenes for their programs, their courses, their membership and other bits they're running, their masterminds, we do handle them behind the scenes. But how they can be sure that it has been handled is that we've had the communication around this beforehand. We have done things, discussed things, and we have done the homework together as a team so that I can make sure my team handles it the way we want it, right? So if we haven't done the groundwork, if we haven't actually invested time and effort into something that really matters in the first place, would it be even running smoothly? Like, for example, if you talk about it, like this week, it's gonna be an eventful week for me. Like, obviously right now I'm recording this podcast. I have my other like non-negotiables that need to be handled on daily basis. When it comes to my own business, I have the daily negotiables that need to be handled for my other clients. I have, like one of my client is running like a public launch for one of her programs. One of my client is away on her vacation at the moment as we speak, and she doesn't have to think or care or worry about how her membership, like she has 2 memberships, and how are they going to be handled, how are things going to be working out. We've had a word around that before, and she's chilling, she's having a good time. I have my own free masterclass happening this week, which I would be delivering, and I am working on behind the scenes. So my team is making sure they can help me with this as much as possible as well. And plus, I have my membership where I am supporting all of my members, and then of course we have my own visibility, we have my content coming, and obviously then apart from that, my family needs me, my son needs me. So oh my god, I have literally haven't even listed everything out, because just whatever came in my mind, I just was sharing it with you guys. But that is so much. How do we even make it work? Like, how is it possible that we are getting on all of these things the way we want to? Now that happens because we have our business behind the scenes sorted, and that's the reason why we are talking about this on this episode today. So now, before I go on any other tangents, let me come to one of the points that I want you to talk about. When we were still discussing one of the important points, which is for you to understand how much important it is to have like a business management or a business back-end management system. Now, next, I want to actually talk with you about essential tools, like really the most important. There can be so much more that can be added, incorporated, and talked about in this episode, but I have nailed it down to the most important, prominent bits, which is the first one that I want you to I want you to listen to, or I want myself to talk about, is your project management tool. Like we live in an era, we live in a time where there are so many tools to choose from. I did mention this last time as well. Like there's Asana, there's Trello, there's Notion, there's Monday.com, there's ClickUp, there's Choir, there's Wunderlist is not there anymore. There's Microsoft Todoist, there's Tasks, there's so much more. We have like literally a variety of tools to pick from for us to stay on track. But most of the times we don't, right? Like we might sign up for it, but do we use it the way we want to, or we just keep on going in circles? I want you to start thinking about this. How efficiently, whether you and your VA, whether you are having like a team of 3 or 4 people, whether it's you and your accountability buddy who you wanna stay organized with when it comes to your projects, whether it's you and your husband, whether it's you and people in your family who you want to stay on track with, whoever it is, how efficiently are you using your project management tool? I love Notion, and I just absolutely love it. I have built my own system on Notion, but that I have done because I'm a nerd and I love doing things and testing and tweaking things, and coming up with a system that works for me is something I really enjoyed doing, but it did take a lot of time. It did need a lot of patience, testing, and obviously it also needed, like, I literally had to wait for a few features to come in. And once they were, like, I was waiting for months for one of the feature which I knew was going to come, but I had to wait for it until I was getting the feature while it was getting rolled out, right? But yeah, I just love Notion because I have everything in one place. In fact, last week, I did actually a training on Notion, and I shared my, like a bit of my setup, and the host of the membership, she was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So yeah, if you are someone who loves Notion, we might talk about it more in the upcoming episodes for sure. But yeah, let's keep it simple. And I just want to say I love Notion. That's it for now. Because again, like I said, it is a tool which I use every single day, and it helps me keep everything in one place. And I have a certain way of how I use it, whether it's in my personal life, whether it's for my business, whether it's with my team, with my clients, so on and so forth, right? So let me know, what's your go-to project management tool? Which one do you love? Or are you a planner person and who loves to use planners to actually get organized? Because I am someone who is a mix and match of both, to be very honest. Like, I have my planner, I have my notebook, I even have like a planner on Good Notes, which I do use when I want to scribble or make notes and, keep myself on track. And then there's this daily notebook with my notes from, all of the things happening during the entire day, which I come back to every single day as well, and so on and so forth. So we can be a mix of both. It doesn't have to be just one way is the highway kind of thing. So just saying, guys, just saying, right? Next, I want you to start thinking about, and again, this is another slight reminder to what we did talk about last week, which is your communication tools. Because when it comes to your business communications, you want to be clear. You want to be efficient when it comes to communication, because that's very important. It's one of the major keys when it comes to any business success as well. Like, I've used Slack, I've used Microsoft Teams as well, to be really true. Zoom obviously works very well when it comes to calls. I do not like Microsoft Teams that much. So I do prefer Zoom, because then we have other bits where we have like the transcriptions. So we have something connected for that. We have the recordings connected to our Google Drive. So there's integrations and automations that we have set up when it comes to how we utilize Zoom, when it comes to being used with my one-on-one clients, whether it is like how we're using it with my membership. Like, to keep it simple, to be very honest, when it comes to my membership, we just have one single link which kind of works for all of the calls. So I've just told them to save that link so they know every single week when we're going to have a call, it's going to be that same link. So again, it's simple for them for, to be saved and kept back as a reference point. It's simple for me because then that way I don't have to actually create a new link every single week. It's just that link which I know my team can add to the calendar, because my membership has a calendar for them to stay on track when it comes to what call is happening when, and they get updates just by the month end for the next week's call, so that they can add it to their calendar and so forth. So that makes, again, their life, their experience of the membership much more smoother, and they can kind of accept for, obviously, when if they are not available because of the global time zones, me being in a different time zone than they are, and it's a really weird time for them, they can make it to the call. So it kind of works the best way. Similarly, we do have it for our retainer clients. We have the same link, so that way it's, again, simple. Plus, since we have the transcriptions automated and connected to my Zoom, that happens by default. So we just grab the link, get the transcripts and share with my clients. That way it's easier for them to go back to catch up on notes, get the task done or any homework that I've done, or just get into implementation mode. Is that, again, now all of these are thoughtful and, user experience based decisions I have made in my business. So think about, and all of these are, if we don't even say communication tools, but if we rather say and mention these as touch points or client touch points with, how they get to work with us, I think that's how it would actually sound much better, because again, this is how you are designing and you're picking the tools to design your client's experience. And I love stats, and I did come across one of these stats which said that the McKinsey Global Institute found that improved communication and collaboration through tech could raise productivity for workforce by 20 to 25%. So this is just for the team. Similarly, if think about it, how it would affect when it comes to your brand loyalty, when it comes to your brand experience, when people talk about how it is to work with you, if you are designing your experience, how it is when it comes to working with you as well. So definitely give it a thought and think about it and see how and what touch points maybe you could introduce new, or maybe what's right now unnecessary and adding more workload for you, and maybe is adding overwhelm for your clients and you want to ditch or subtract something. So think about that. Definitely something to start implementing, because why not? Next, I actually want you to start thinking about one thing, which is your finances or accounting. Now, most of the people use tools like QuickBooks, FreshBooks. There's so many out there. I'm sure you do use them as well. And when it comes to, because I see sometimes as business owners, we are so tied up into other aspects of our business. We sometimes do, I feel, miss out on handling or the finances of a business. They're not handled that well, like when we are looking at, it's not just the revenue that I'm talking about when the finance aspect or the financial aspect of your business, but other bits that we are doing, like whether it's the expenses, whether how and what could be streamlined, or all of those kind of things. So are there any costly mistakes you're making? Is your business and your life's financial health on track? All of those kind of things I want you to start thinking about, because I'm not a finance expert, but I definitely want us as business owners to be mindful of our finances, and that is exactly why I want you to start thinking about it as well. And obviously based on this section and how I am someone who does have her own investments and how we do handle our finances, and I do handle and I do have discussions about finances with my husband, because we kind of do work it out together. But I think those do not fit in this conversation, so definitely not sharing more on that. But yeah, so coming back to the point and to the topic, next what I want you to start thinking about, and I want you to start emphasizing on, is how are you building relationships with those who are connected with you? So how are you communicating with not your clients, but those who are maybe part of your audience, and how are you building relationships with them? Are you building thoughtful relationships with people who are trying to have or having a conversation with you via DMs? Or do you have like a CRM that you utilize so that you are on track? Because there's HubSpot, there's Salesforce, there's Zoho, there's again so much more. I personally, if I'm having specific business related conversations, again, my CRM is on Notion, which I have designed, but I like to have it on Notion because, again, everything is on one place. And if you're not someone who's not utilizing Notion, you can kind of even utilize your email marketing system, something like ActiveCampaign, MailerLite, as your CRM as well, by using the right tags, by segmenting people and tracking them and tracking their behaviors based on the actions they're taking. Because maybe we do not tag, or we do not segment our Facebook Messenger list, as in a Facebook Messenger chats, but we still can segment our conversations happening via emails, and we can just utilize the tools that are provided with our emails or email systems to set up tags, to segment, to group, and categorize our customers, or not customers but contacts on the system we are using. So start thinking about this. Now, I did mention automation a bit, but I want to mention automation separately as well, because of course, there are tools like Zapier, there's ManyChat, we obviously utilize our email marketing systems for automating onboarding, offboarding, like building relationships, nurturing our email contacts. There's so much that can be automated. And now with so many other integrations, we can automate so many other bits. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can automate your recordings being automatically being uploaded to your Google Drive, so that the shared folder, the main folder basically, which you have shared with your team or your VA already, you don't have to manually grab the recording and share it each time. They just have the main folder, you add them in, and they know when or what your calls calendars are, and based on that, they can just download, upload it on YouTube, and either share it with you or even send it to your client. As simple as that, job's done. You don't even have to worry about it. Right? Similarly, if, like what we use is Phantom for, the AI transcriptions, and it just gives a link which sends the summary and link for the transcription to my email as well. And from there, my team grabs it. They create the transcriptions. We have the templates, branded templates created, which they utilize, and then it can be shared with the specific client or added to my membership dashboard. So I have set up and we would be actually talking about this. I have set up standard operating procedures for different tasks, different processes, for different things happening in my business. And that's how my team can actually implement them, because we've had a word around it. We've trained them for what needs to happen when, whether it's for me, whether it's for clients, so on and so forth. So let me know, what do you think? How helpful is this? And I am going to be talking about one last thing, which I feel is something that you need to understand, which is your content or learning management system, which is more like whether you're using WordPress, whether you're using Kartra, whether you're using MemberVault, whether you're using Kajabi, whatever system you're using. These are the systems you are going to be utilizing to deliver your content to your client. So whether it is your masterclasses, whether it is your group program replays, whether it is your call replays for your membership, whether it is any other bundle that you are creating and selling, whatever it is, the user experience that gets designed here and how it does work out for your clients is going to be another deciding factor on how much they are going to come back and be your retainer customer as well. So then they're not just your client or customer, but the overall spend they have done on you and your brand, on your business, is going to be in compounding value, which is the overall revenue you generate from a client as well, right? So once you start thinking about these things, and one major reason why I wanted to talk about this, which is your content management system, which we did talk about right now, is also because I see so many clients, or I see actually so many people who I am connected with on my network, or even in Facebook groups I am part of, trying to switch from one tool to the other. They'll be like, I'm on Kajabi right now, but I'm not liking it, so I'm going to move to something else. That's fine, but you need to try and understand one thing. Every single time you make a switch from one platform to the other, there's going to be leak in leads, there's going to be leak in revenue, and you got to be mindful of that. So you definitely want to work around and think about that, so that every single time there is no leak in your revenue, right? There's no leak in leads, because you don't want to miss out on audiences which do not carry over to maybe the next platform you are testing out. I want you to start thinking, what are the long-term players you want to invest in? Because ultimately, this is what your business is about. You have to think about the long-term vision and make sure you're choosing your tools based on that. So let me know what tools you are currently utilizing in your business, and just keep me posted, because why not share? I have all of my business on and is set up on WordPress, and we actually, since we've been talking about upgrades, I have been upgrading my own system, but it was still on the same system, but we switched from some of the bits, some of the basic structures which were working out, and then we have topped it up with the new bits we wanted to add, right? So next, I actually want to move the conversation now from we discussing different essential tools to we discussing processes, because now that we have covered the tools, we want to talk about the key processes that are going to keep your business more efficient and have your backend or business backend managed. And integrating these processes will not just help you stay stress-free, but it's also going to help you maintain consistency. It is going to help you ensure your business operates at its best, and it gives you a platform to understand your business data, so that when it's time, you can start adapting or evolving what you already have. So that's the reason why I mentioned, and I'm going to start with this, which is your SOPs, or your standard operating procedures. They are, just like what their name suggests, they are standard procedures which you have been following in your business. So if you're someone who's operating solo right now, start documenting these now, because when you even start documenting these right now at this stage of your business, what's going to happen is it's easy for you to look back at these procedures and see what's working, what's not working, maybe what's giving you stress, and it might either actually could be subtracted and you can simplify your workflow or your procedure. And plus, once you then start delegating, you can ensure consistency and efficiency in your operations because you've been doing it in a certain way. And then your team starts replicating things in the similar fashion and similar way as well. Right? So SOPs are detailed guides that outline how you perform a specific task within your business. And when you are handing over these detailed guides to those who are going to start working with you, they're very useful because then it makes onboarding new team members and maintaining the same standards smooth. So have your SOPs in place, and that way you can create a system that can be easily replicated and makes your life easier. It's less stress. You can onboard your team members very easily and smoothly, and plus they're gonna love working and they are gonna even maybe suggest you better or give you better suggestions if there are any as well. Right? Next, I want you to start thinking about how you are managing your data. Because as business owners, we have so much data. And whether it is how we are managing our leads data, whether it is how we are managing the info data, because we have so many calls, recordings that need to be managed. We have so many posts we've written, the blogs, or maybe what content you've been delivering. How have you been organizing that data is also going to be something that you have got to start thinking about. I personally, that is one of the reasons or one of the major reasons why I use Notion, because like even right now, as I'm recording this episode with you, I have all of the bullet points for what I want to talk about on my screen in front of me, and they're all on Notion. So I have my content calendar for this podcast, obviously, me being organized. And then in each page, which is dedicated to each episode, I make my points. I make note down of what I want to talk about and what I want to discuss so that I can make sure the episode is on point. And then that gives us structure, plus it gives us information to then craft the descriptions and the other bits of information that is associated with the podcast as well. So I have this on Notion. I have all of my content that I create for social media on Notion because I have a content calendar for that. I have my ideas, I have my research, I have my notes related to courses or programs I am part of on Notion. I have notes for everything that I do personally deliver, whether it's guest expert trainings, whether it is my own trainings, which I do deliver in my membership, my programs, and all of those bits. I have notes for that. Again, I have all of that on Notion. I have my life on Notion. I have all of the information ranging from recipes I want to try out to my journal. Even like my brain dump, my someday list, everything is on Notion, and it's one safe space where I know I can find it all, because Notion again has a very good search engine. Like it kind of searches not engine, but actually it kind of searches quite seamlessly through all of the information and data and gives me what I'm looking forward to. So it kind of makes my life easier, isn't it? Whereas if I do use Google Drive, because then not all of my clients are on Notion, are they? So when it comes to sharing templates, when it comes to sharing other bits of information, we do use Google Drive. I'm not a fan of Dropbox. So a lot of my data is definitely shared or saved there as well. But most of my data is on Notion. So see how you can organize your data, keep it more structured as well, right? So so much we talked about. Let me know what are your thoughts after listening to this entire episode, because I also want to say before we actually end is that always think about one thing and always try and have a system or a process around regular audits and reviews as well, because that's so essential. It helps you identify areas for improvement and ensures that everything is running smoothly. I do review my processes quarterly, and it's always surprising. Either I will find something to improve, or I might actually simplify things sometimes or most of the times, right? So regular audits allow me to catch potential issues beforehand sometimes as well. So definitely do incorporate regular audits and reviews as one of the efficient behind the scenes process you want to implement in your business as well. So to recap, we talked about essential tools like project management, communication, even a bit of accounting, CRM. We talked about automation tools. We talked about content management systems or your learning management systems, LMS as well. We also covered key processes such as regular audits, which I covered last, creating SOPs, managing even your data, and implementing all of this in your business is going to help you manage your business more effectively and efficiently. So take action, get on it, and just enjoy the heartfelt hustle. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Heartfelt Hustle podcast with me, Sush. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe. You also do add in your rate or review for the podcast, because that helps me get to know you much more, and I also get to know my listeners as well, isn't it? Plus, your feedback is going to help me understand what more content you guys would love to consume as well. So make sure you do give me a review below. Don't forget to connect with me on social media. And if you have any topic suggestions, you can message me on Instagram or on Facebook, whichever is your preferred platform. Next episode would be coming next week. Until then, bye-bye, sayonara, shabakher, and see you guys.